Okay, what's up? Like I said, I picked up three books for $9 today. Three early Bronze Age books. These are definitely early. I think. I mean, I have to check the dates to be sure, but this is literally the. So all of you know Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Green Arrow 77, the classic green cover by Neal Adams. Well, this is the issue right after. It's sorry, it's not the issue right after. It's we're talking about 76, the classic cover, then 77, and this is the third issue in that transition where it's Green Lantern, Green Arrow on this trade dress. And this Green Lantern, Green Arrow run goes for about 10 issues, 10 or 11 issues. But again, at the start, 76 marks really the first or the last Silver Age issue. And so 77 would be the first Bronze Age issue. This would be the second Bronze Age issue. And man, this book has a lot of. It's not a. All these books have their issues in terms of condition. This is probably the highest grade. So we're gonna probably do this last, and we're gonna just start. I guess start cleaning with the Green Arrow first. This is a beautiful book. Again, I had an opportunity to pick up Green Arrow a while back. Pick up the. I had an opportunity to pick up the. So again, I paid $2 for this issue, which is just insane to me. Because of the. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of. There's water damage here. There's water damage all throughout the top here. And I'm just going to take a look at the back. I haven't. Yep. There's water damage on the back cover as well. Pretty noticeable. So, I mean, this is a mid-grade book at best. But it looks great. I mean, if we. First of all, it's in dire need of a press. I don't know if you can. So the water damage. There's just some humidity, I think. This book got exposed to some humidity. Maybe it got wet at some point, and then it just kind of dried out. And this is what we're left with. Just a nice rippling in the book. But overall, there's a little bit of a tear here in the staple as well. The corners are nice. The spine is pretty decent. No real major creases or anything. I mean, it presents really well. So what we're going to try to do here is just, do what I always do. I'm going to give it a good wipe and see if we can't get some of this dinge off. And whenever I do this, I do try to keep my hands off the book. Just trying to find something. I will hold it with this, which is another cotton swab. Now this one's a little wet for my taste, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub some of that moisture onto this, and I guess I could just. This one's pretty dry too. Go with this one. Let's see here. Just gonna hold it with this mask a little bit. All right, so I've got This is nice and wet. This will start us off. Just kind of... Now it's a yellow cover, so yellow covers are notoriously tough to keep in high grade. And this definitely needs a press. With the press, I could see this, even with the water damage, I could see this coming back a solid 5 with a press. Because, I mean, outside of the water damage, it's the staining in the book that's the issue. Everything else looks really great, aside from the rippling as well. So this gives me a lot of hope for, again, possibly getting this book graded, which this is a book that's, if we can improve some of this staining through cleaning and pressing, this is a book that would come back, I think, really. Look at all that dinge. That's just, I don't know if you can see it. There's a lot of dinge on this book, and we're gonna get it looking better for sure. And you're just gonna hear that rippling. The book is so wrinkled. You're just gonna hear that crackling. You hear that? I'm just kind of pressing out the book. Now, luckily, this rippling isn't. It isn't really evident throughout the entire book. You know what I mean? It's just, it's really localized to yeah, I mean, the rippling is only localized to the cover, but what I mean is it's not severe to the point where it's gonna cause color breaks. So I would say this is a prime candidate for pressing. Again, you can hear that rippling, right? Like, just, it presents so beautifully, though. I mean, if we could just get a lot of this dinge off, I'm telling you, this is a book I may have to submit for CGC. I mean, and I'd just be curious to see, again, how the book, what the book comes back in terms of the grade with a good press and a clean, because to be honest, this book, for the age of this book, 1970, I mean, obviously you have books from this age that are a higher grade, but this could come with if everything goes according to, like the press comes out and they're able to get some of the staining, like just clean up a little bit of the dinge and get some of that staining looking better. I mean, this could come back higher, much higher grade. As is, it's definitely a mid-grade book. But I can definitely see room for, and I'm sure those of you watching as well see the potential here, right? For those of you who like pressing and cleaning books already, you see the potential of this book, where the potential improvements could be. Now I'm just going to flip over and do a little bit of the same, and just kind of looking, Yeah, there was something. So the ink bled. You can see where the ink bled here. I don't know if that's a printing error. Oh, that's just beautiful art. Now this, oh, hang on. So we do have some detachment here. So this is not a prime candidate. We've got some detachment there, which is fine. Yeah, it looks like the cover is completely detached. That's fine. This is such a classic Neal Adams book. We're fine with a low grade. Glad I opened it up and just didn't submit. It looks to be complete. I'm just gonna go through the book and just see if any pages are missing. So luckily these pages are numbered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On this next should be 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, this is just beautiful Neal Adams art. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, coming to the end, 23, and the last one. So it's a complete book. There's just a lot of water damage. Man, this just, I wasn't even alive when this book came out. Again, a lot of water damage, a lot of dinge. So what we're going to do is, it is a detached cover and detached pages, but it is a complete book. This would still be ideal for grading, I think, because, again, with the press, this book is just going to come back looking pretty good in the slab. Obviously, it's going to be a complete book. It's going to be low grade, though, with the water damage. And I mean, even if and the detached pages and the detached cover, I mean, potentially we could still get a 4. We could still get a 3, 5, or a 4, even with all the detachment. It's complete. And again, I think the cover just looks fabulous. This back cover even looks really, I mean, if it just not counting with the water damage notwithstanding, it looks really, really decent, the cover. And we're getting a lot of dinge off, so that's good. And you know, this water damage, it's I know there are ways to address that, like there are ways to, you know, improve that, but that's restoration, and I don't even want to get into that aspect of, you know, I don't think this is a book that's worth going to all that trouble, because it's for the PC, but I think to preserve it in a slab might be, you know, regardless of whatever grade we get, it might be the best course of action for this book. There are other Neal Adams books that I have that also I am apt to send into the grading, But the reason I do send this particular one in is because I think, again, with the press and the clean, this is one that could really, I don't know. It definitely is a low to mid-grade book, but where it falls on that scale depends largely on how it presses out and how it cleans up. Because outside of the detached pages and all that, I mean, it is off-white. Oh, it's just such a beautiful book. It's a shame that, again, I don't know. I'm just kind of torn between sending this in and just having it in a slab preserved, regardless what grade we get. Just kind of seeing this clean up and get it in the best, possible condition. Like, just really pressing out all these defects and then cleaning out this water I mean, again, if we can just press this out and get everything nice and neat looking, and then also address some of this staining through the cleaning, it's worth doing in my book. But let me know in the comments what you think. Would you like me? I can't send it in anytime soon. I'm thinking, I'm targeting a CGC submission I should say CBCS. I would be targeting a CBCS submission for next year, maybe. That's if I decide to do it. But I am kind of leaning in that direction right now because I see potential in this book. I really think, as is right now, it's sitting in my collection, as is with the water damage, and I mean, I could press it and just get it pressed for it to look really nice. But I figure if I'm going to go to the trouble of pressing it and doing all that, might as well grade it as well. So that's kind of where I am with this book right now. Getting a lot of dinge off here. I love it. I love when I can clean a book and just know, as it sits in my collection, just know we've helped this book along. So yeah, I will keep you up to date on what I plan to do with this book. But picking up a low grade Neal Adams cover and book, like a full Neal Adams book, cover and interiors, is just incredible to me. And so I am so enamored with this pickup for $2. It's literally probably the best thing, the best value book. For $2 to get a book like this is just absolutely incredible again. So yes, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put this treasure into a bag and board for now, and what we'll do is we'll mull over our options. I am leaning toward getting this graded because, again, I think this particular book is just one of those books you want in the PC. I just don't like to see this book in the current condition it's in. with the rippling and all that. So we definitely need to get it pressed. And so my view is, if we're going to go to the trouble of getting it pressed, we might as well go all the way and get it graded. I would just love, because it's a beautifully presenting book, so I just love to have this in my collection as again, a complete book. It's going to just say detached cover. It's probably going to come back with a very low grade. Maybe, again, I would imagine it's higher than a 2. I would put it in maybe the 2.5, possibly 3. Again, depending on how that press turns out, it could be higher. It just looks fabulous. It just looks fabulous. Man, that's a beautiful book. So this one I am going to put in a top loader, so that it, at least the top, pressed up against the top loader, it's gonna kind of improve that rippling a little bit, and we'll see. Okay, so that's our first Neal Adams book, and man, what is it to pick up? This is our second Neal Adams book that we picked up, and this one, again, we picked this one up for $2, which is also amazing. And so I've always wanted to own a Batman Neal Adams book. It's just been like one of those things. Like I have a few Superman books. And I have, they're classic Superman books, but it's just like some of the his Batman stuff has, really, his key Batman books are almost at a point where it's unattainable to most collectors. So I was kind of feeling like, oh man, I'm probably never going to own one of those Neal Adams Batman books, or it's going to be really hard. I'm going to have to put some serious money down to pick it up. But lo and behold, we were able to pick one up. And man, is it a beautiful book. It's such a beautiful book. Let's see here. And the thing about these Bronze Age books, this is a Silver Age book. You can tell the difference between the Silver Age right? No, it's they're about the same dimension, I guess. Just looking at a modern book here, the modern books are the issue here. So yeah, I am gonna have to put this keep this in this bag and board here. I was hoping to take it out, but I'll just keep it in this one, since the bag and board are the right size for this. Oh, this is nice, and someone put this, gotta rip it open here. Let me just take this whole tape off here. Just take that all off. Okay, so this is a nice bag and board. So this All right, what we're going to do here is also clean this one as well. This one, though, let's go over the issues with this book. Now, this is the first time I'm taking it out. I've only observed it from the cover here. And hang on, I'm just going to be back in just a moment. Okay, so I just got some more cleaner on here. And we're going to do a little bit more wiping here. I love this. This is also a Neal Adams cover, but it has issues here. It's not a complete tear, but it's right there. It's pretty, I don't know if you can see it. There's a tear right here, and then it kind of tears into the surface of the book. So we've got like what would you call it? Just like a I guess just like a faded tear on the top and on this area here. There's a clear tear right there. Lots of creases here. But overall, like, it still looks great. So this is also a low grade book. And I mean, it would definitely improve with a little bit of a press, would improve a little bit, but for the most part, this is a book that is not going to improve much. And this one, because it's so wrinkled and it does look a little brittle, we're not going to apply a very strong pressure on this. We're just going to go over the book very lightly and get off just the surface tinge. It looks great as is. So I mean, I anticipate this will also maybe be a detached cover as well. Really want to be careful there. That's a tear right there. So I'm not going to do much in terms of cleaning this book. Just going to try to get it looking a little better, get that surface dirt off. Beautiful cover. Love this cover, man. So this is, that previous book we showed you was a Neal Adams, Denny O'Neil book, The Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Full on cover to interior book by Neal. Real treasure. Well, we're going to verify on this book as well. Now, he did the cover for this, but it remains to be seen whether he did the interiors. And something tells me that this could be a Neal Adams, Denny O'Neil book as well. And if that's the case, boy, man, for $2 did we find some gold, another gold. Now, what I'm hoping with this book, since this book is a lot worse looking, I mean, it's got splotches, it's just got dirt ingrained in the cover. It's definitely an off-white book. And again, you saw the rip on the front. There's some minor tears here on the back as well. There's a crease. There's just creases all over this book. This would definitely need to be cleaned and pressed should we send it in to get graded, but I don't think this particular copy would necessarily need to be slabbed. I think keeping this as is, I mean, it's not gonna see that much of an improvement with the press, and yeah, I mean, it would look great in a slab, but it's not a book that I think would warrant going down that process. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you think this is more of the more slab-worthy book, or they both should be slabbed, it's up to you. I know some of you have very strong feelings about slabbing and that that's not for you, that these books should just be kept in the collection raw. And I'm fine with doing that too. I'm just keeping all my options open. So yeah, like I thought, this art is Irv Novick. Story by Frank Robbins. Irv Novick and Dick Giordano art. Still beautiful, beautiful. Early Bronze Age. So I think this is also 1970. Let's see here. Yeah, February 1970. So early Bronze Age book. And this one is still hanging, the covers on this one. So this one, in terms of grade, might actually, because the cover's attached and it looks to be a complete book. I mean, this is a 3.5 as well. Not that it would grade better than that Green Lantern. The Green Lantern definitely would present better in a slab and all that. It comes off as high grade outside the cover detachment and all that. But this one is probably in the same grade, because this one's cover is attached. It just has creasing and some tears. So this one is definitely around a 3.5, I would say. 3.0 maybe, 3.0, 3.5. There's just some severe creasing, but again, the cover looks just amazing. Get that beautiful cover. Neal Adams, goodness. All right, so very happy to have this in the collection. I think we got really lucky with these pickups. Again, $9 for these 3 books. We essentially spent $3 on these Bronze Age beauties. And so that to me is, yeah, these are definitely worth way more than $3. They're invaluable to me. Anytime you can pick up a Neal Adams Batman cover, you're doing a good. You're enjoying. The hobby is as it's intended to be, right? Anytime you can do that, you're doing the hobby justice there. And look at that. Oh, that's a beautiful cover. That is such a beautiful cover. All right, so again, we had we spent $2 on both of these books. $2 here and $2 here, so $4 for both of these books. That's just a beautiful Black Canary, Green Lantern, Green Arrow cover. Again, full Neal Adams cover, interior Denny O'Neil, Neal Adams book. This is classic. This is classic with that classic 11 run trade dress of the Green Lantern, Green Arrow co-starring. You only see this along 11 issues of this run, so try to pick those up if you can. Okay, so this is our last book, and this is actually the book that's probably in the best condition. I mean, it's got some corner issues. It's got a few spine ticks. But overall, I would put it in like around the 6.5. Yeah, the 6.5 range. No water staining here. And of course, we do have to look at, and then the staples look really good. We just have to look at the interior part of the book to see if there's any other underlying issues, but I don't anticipate that to be the case. It looks really well preserved. It's a beautiful looking book. Okay, so let's just kind of start here. Yeah, the cover looks great. There are little splotches. There are a few splotches on the interior of the book. And let's see who did the artwork for this one. I'm not seeing it here on the front. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe as we get into the book, it'll reveal the creators. Nope, not seeing it. Not seeing it. All right, so this might be something we have to actually look up in terms of who contributed to this book. It doesn't look to be Neal Adams, though, because I can tell, yeah, this is not Neal Adams. This is just another Neal Adams cover. Although, that could be, nope, that's Irv Novick. So yeah, I don't think this is not a Neal Adams interior book, which is a little disappointing. But again, the Neal Adams cover more than makes up for that disappointment. Okay, so this is actually looks a lot better than the other two books in terms of condition. So we got that going for us. This is definitely on its own above, just slightly above mid-grade. And again, if we can get the dinge off here, just the dust and stuff off, I think this will just be a nice addition to the collection. This is not something, I don't know, maybe we could get it graded. It does look like it would come back in a more decent grade than the other two books, but I'm just gonna, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get some more cleaning solution. Okay, here we go. Just gonna do a nice So let me just give context on where I picked these beauties up. Again, half-price books. So the half-price books I frequent has a section that's kind of in a locked area where they place the older books. They're not necessarily a higher price. They're just older books because, as you can tell by this, I paid, $5, $2, and $2 for 3 books, so $9. They're not that high in value. In fact, some of the modern books, the ones that with like the $5.99 or $7.99 cover prices, would have this equal or more value. But and generally, I stick to the more modern section because, I do look through the older books and pick up if I find something that I'm interested in collecting, especially if it's like, we're always looking for like cheap Silver Age just looking for value in there, I'll do it. But oftentimes I know what's in there, and the older stuff doesn't come in as frequently as one would like. But again, I just dropped in after work, and I was looking through books again. And then I noticed a few Daredevils in the section, so I flipped through the Daredevils. They weren't like necessarily keys or anything important. And then I ran across again the first, I think it was the Batman 219. I ran across that and I was like, oh, hello, wait a minute. And then I flipped through and I found, again, more of the books. So I went and said, hey, can I get some books out? And I kind of went through the whole section. And I couldn't, they're outside of these were the only 3 Neal Adams books. There were a bunch of other Silver to Bronze Age books there that were added, that were new, but they weren't ones that they weren't ones that I was interested in getting. So I just got the 3. Literally, I just got the 3 only 3 Neal Adams books that were there. Got all of them, and luckily, they were just, I had to get them. I mean, couldn't leave, these books there at the prices that they were going for. I just could not leave them there. And so, look how beautiful, this is just a beautifully, conditioned book. I'm just really, and we're going to be very delicate here because this is, it's a black cover, so getting dust off something like this is not really gonna help the perception of the book. We do want to get the spine though, because the spine is white. Just looks beautiful. The condition here on this Bronze Age masterpiece. So I think, we can cross a Neal Adams, Denny O'Neil book off the list. We have one now in our possession. Full interior, full cover Neal Adams book. A lot of the books in my collection are Neal Adams covers. They're not necessarily Neal Adams interior books as well, but I finally have one, and I can't believe. Now it's not in the best condition like you saw. It's covers off, the pages are all there, but the cover's off and the pages are detached. Some of the pages are detached. This nice 70s cover of the Batman as well, the yellow cover. I love these classic covers here. The man who saw with his fingers. I got Batman dead in my sights. It's just a weird looking cover though. So he's just looking in the back of his head with his hand. It's just a weird. Why don't you just turn around? Jeez. Anyway, we're not going to question the logic of this classic book. We just going to love it. All right, so there's not much more I can do with the cleaning on this book. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put it back in the bag and keep it nice and preserved. man, this is just. So I don't. Now, when I pick up a lot of books, as you know, and for me, picking up books and where I get a lot of value, if I can pick up sort of like a, I think I've given an example in the past. If I can pick up like a $20 book for 25 cents, I feel like I've accomplished. It's a big deal for me. Hang on, what we want to do is this corner is going to keep crunching unless I keep it in place. So as you know, I just kind of add a little bit of wood glue, just to keep certain corners and little things that are detached in place. That's what we're going to do here. We're just going to get just the ever trace amount of wood glue. Very trace amount. Okay, trace amount of wood glue. We're just gonna keep this corner here down, because if we don't, it's gonna continue to pop back up and eventually detach. There we go. All right, just a very minor amount of glue, but it's going to make all the difference in the world as we slide this in. See? It's not folding back and exacerbating the... All right, so as I was saying, I take pride in what I pick up and getting value for what I pick up. Now, I could go into any comic book shop and buy a Neal Adams book and pay the full value that it's definitely worth. You know, like, I could probably go in a comic book shop and pick this particular copy up for like, $30, maybe $40, okay? In this condition, right? This one I could probably pick up for close to 50, right? In this condition, maybe 40, 50. Same story here. In this condition, probably under around 30 $20-30. And we can do that, and that would still be like, I would still feel like, okay, we picked a low grade Neal Adams book up, for under $100. That's pretty good value. But again, when you pay $2, and like under 10 for 3 classic Neal Adams covers, including this one, this classic here. It's a feeling of accomplishment on another level. I think every time I pick up these Neal Adams books, for those of you that have been following my videos, I've picked up a few Neal Adams books for like, $3-4 here and there. And they're not in the best condition. And I kind of do the same thing. I just kind of try to clean them up as best I can. And we just keep them in top loaders or in like a, in a protective sleeve or something. And yeah, and then that's that. It just remains in the collection as a piece of revered treasure. And I just can't believe the luck I've had with Neal Adams' book. Now, Neal Adams did a lot of covers. A lot of these books were printed to a great degree. So it's not like these books are that rare. But yeah, I mean, just given where we are, the fact that these books are like just coming to me through my searches, that they're coming to me at these prices is just quite amazing. And I was just thinking the other day, like, we got to go out and pick up some Neal Adams Batman books, and I was just kind of cringing at the thought of having to pay what the books are going for. And I was just like, oh man, kind of groaning, like there's so many things I want to add to the collection, and where do we prioritize, how do we prioritize the key books and the things we want to pick up, like, and even if we were to spend like an exorbitant amount of money on a key Neal Adams Batman book, really at the end of the day, would it be worth it? Of course the collector in me says yes, screams yes, but the dad and husband and just overall frugal family person that I am says, no, you gotta temper your budget and what you spend. So as much as we want those books as collectors, and kudos to all the collectors out there that do spend the money and go out and they invest in the books, and those investments make them happy, and they are enjoying the hobby. Kudos to all of you. But I think there's some of us who have to be conscious of budget, and we have to really just keep our collection focused on kind of just what we can afford, and trying to get the best value out of that. So like I was saying earlier, whenever we can pick up a $20 book for a quarter, a $10 book for 50 cents, these are just kind of like that's kind of my approach to the hobby. And what I've noticed about my Unmyeong journey, my journey in comic books, Unmyeong, my destiny or fate in comic books, is that this is my path. I've chosen the path of not, consciously not trying to spend a lot on books, and letting the value come to me. So, and I think that kind of patience and that kind of discipline on days like this, when I'm rewarded, again, $9 for these 3 books, that's to me, that is a reward. That's like Christmas come early for a collector like me. And look at this beautiful cover. It just looks, I'm telling you, if we can get that rippling out, press it up nice, this is just a fabulous detached cover book. I want to grade it. I really want to grade this particular copy because of its significance. It's a Neal Adams book, cover to front to back. It's a Neal Adams, Danny O'Neill book. It's a classic, the second Bronze Age Green Lantern book. I mean, yellow cover, it's stunning. This art is just stunning right there. And so, yeah, this is a book, I don't care if it comes back in low grade, as long as it presents and looks absolutely beautiful in the slab with the pressing and everything. This is a book we want to get done. We want to press. Because I figure for this book to be a $2 book, and then we invest the slabbing fee, the cleaning fee, and all that, and it comes back, and let's say, this is my prediction, but it comes back like a 3.5, right? With all the issues that it has, it's a complete book. It's just detached and all, and the staining, but it comes back a 3.5, even with the grade. I'd be ecstatic with that. I'd be ecstatic with that, with a 3.5 copy of this book. And there's the potential that it could always grade higher. I'm gonna have to look at how detached covers, how that affects the grade. That is like a major defect. So the staining is gonna bring us, all the staining brings us down to about a 6, along with a detached cover. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we'd get anything higher than a 3.5, even though it presents beautifully. Even though in the slab it'd look like a higher grade book, with all all those issues, I don't think we'd get anything above a 3.5. But again, if you can get a 3.5 or even get a 4 on this book, that would just be incredible. Not that it's worth a lot. To me, yeah, I think Neal Adams, you just gotta, it's a treasure. You've got to just treasure his books. And I know a lot of you watching my channel agree with me. A lot of you watching my channel are Jim Lee and Neal Adams fans, like myself. So, yeah, I'm just happy to. I know this is kind of a long coverage of 3 books, but just gonna flip through them again. Again, $2, $5 on this one, and $2 on this one. For the most part, the covers are attached except this copy. But this is the best, to be honest, this is the best presenting book of the 3, just in terms of like cover condition. It's just detached, that's the only thing. So anyway, happy with this pickup. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of my pickup. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.